Well, Shabbat Shalom. Well, it is such a beautiful night. I'm going to go ahead and just record outside. And I fixed it where you guys can watch Zelig play a little bit too. I know he can sometimes be challenging, but I know everybody loves him. This week's Torah portion is called Vaetchanan. And it means, and I pleaded. Now, we're going to be reading from Deuteronomy 3, verses 23, chapter 7, verse 11 on page 189. Then we'll jump to Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1 to 28. And then 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 18 to 25. So let's go ahead and get started. For the page numbers, Deuteronomy is 189, Isaiah is 144, and 1 Peter is on 1183. So let's get started. Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 23. And I pleaded with Yahweh at that time, saying, O Master Yahweh, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For who is a mighty one in the heavens or on earth who does according to your works and according to your might? I pray, let me pass over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, this good hill country and Lebanon. But Yahweh was enraged with me for your sake and would not listen to me. And Yahweh said to me, enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and lift up your eyes westward and northward and southward and eastward and look with your eyes. For you do not pass over this Jordan. But command Yehoshua and strengthen him and make him brave, for he shall pass before the people and cause them to inherit the land which you see. And we dwelt in the valley opposite Beth Peor. And now, O Israel, listen to the laws and the right rulings which I am teaching you to do, so that you live and shall go in and possess the land which Yahweh, Elohim of your fathers, is giving you. Do not add to the word which I command you, and do not take away from it, so as to guard the commands of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I am commanding you. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did at Baal Peor, for Yahweh your Elohim has destroyed from your midst all the men who followed Baal Peor. But you who are clinging to Yahweh your Elohim are alive today, every one of you. See, I have taught you laws and right rulings, as Yahweh my Elohim commanded me to do thus in the land which you go to possess. And you shall guard and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding before the eyes of the people who hear all these laws, and they shall say, only a wise and understanding people is this great nation. For what great nation is there which has Elohim so near to it as Yahweh, our Elohim, is to us, whenever we call on him? And what great nation is there that has such laws and right rulings like all this Torah, which I set before you this day? Only guard yourself and guard your life diligently, lest you forget the words your eyes have seen, and lest you turn aside from your heart all the days of your life. And you shall make them known to your children and your grandchildren, the day when you stood before Yahweh your Elohim in Hebron and in Horeb. Yahweh said to me, assemble the people to me and make them hear my words. so that they learn to fear me all the days they live on the earth, and teach them to their children. And you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to your hearts, to the heart of the heavens, darkness, cloud, and thick darkness. And Yahweh spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard a voice of words, but saw no form. You only heard a voice. And he made known to you his covenant, which he commanded you to do, the 10 words. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. And Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you laws and right rulings, for you to do them in the land which you pass over to possess. Therefore, diligently guard yourselves, for you saw no form which Yahweh spoke to you, when Yahweh spoke to you in Horeb, out of the midst of the fire, lest you should do corruptly, and shall make for yourselves a carved image of the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, or the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the heavens, the likeness of any creature that creeps on the ground, or the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth. And lest you lift up your eyes to the heavens and see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the hosts of the heavens, and you be drawn away into bowing down to them and serving them, which Yahweh your Elohim has allotted to all the peoples under all the heavens. But Yahweh has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace, out of Mitzrayim, to be his people, an inheritance as it is today. And Yahweh was enraged with me because of your words, and swore that I would not pass over the Yarden, and that I would not enter the good land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance. For I am to die in this land. I am not passing over the Yarden, but you are passing over and shall possess that good land. Guard yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, which he made with you, and shall make for yourselves a carven image of any form, as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a consuming fire, a jealous El. When you bring forth children and grandchildren, and shall grow old in the land, and shall do corruptly, and make a carved image in the form of whatever, and shall do what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim to provoke him, I shall call the heavens and earth to witness against you on that day, that you soon completely perish from the land which you passed over the Yarden to possess. You do not prolong your days in it, but are completely destroyed. And Yahweh shall scatter you among the people, and you shall be left few in number among the nations where Yahweh drives you. And there you shall serve mighty ones, the work of man's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat nor smell. But from there you shall seek Yahweh your Elohim, and shall find, when you search for him with all your heart and with all your being. In your distress, when all these words shall come upon you in the latter days, then you shall return to Yahweh your Elohim and shall obey his voice. For Yahweh your Elohim is a compassionate El. He does not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day that Elohim created man on the earth, and ask from one end of the heaven to the other end of the heavens, whether there has been a word as great as this, or has been heard like it? Has a people heard the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard and lived? Or has Elohim tried to go and take for himself a nation from the midst of a nation by trials and by signs, and by wonders and by battle, and by a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and by great fearsome deeds, according to all that Yahweh your Elohim did for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes? You have been shown it. To know that Yahweh himself is Elohim, and there is no one besides him. From the heavens he let you hear his voice to instruct you, and on earth he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you out of Mitzrayim with his presence and his great power, to drive out from before you nations greater and stronger than you, to bring you in, to give you their land as an inheritance, as it is today. And you shall know today, and shall recall in your heart, that Yahweh himself is Elohim in the heavens above, and on the earth beneath there is none other. And you shall guard his laws and his commands, which I command you today, so that it is well with you and with your children after you, and so that you prolong your days on the soil which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you for all time. Then Moshe separated 3 cities beyond the Yarden, toward the rising of the sun, for a manslayer to flee there, he who unknowingly murdered his neighbor, without having have hated him in the past, and might flee to one of these cities and live. Betzer, in the wilderness, in the level land, for the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilad, for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan, for the Menashites. And this is the Torah which Moshe set before the children of Israel. These are the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings which Moshe spoke to the children of Israel after they came out of Mitzrayim. Beyond the Yarden, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moshe and the children of Israel had stricken after they came out of Mitzrayim. And they took possession of his land in the land of Og, sovereign of Bashan, 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, who were beyond the Yarden, toward the rising of the sun. And from Aroer, which is on the banks of the Wadi Arnon, even to Mount Sion, which is Hermon, and all the desert plains beyond the Yarden, as far as the Sea of Arabah, below the slopes of Pisgah. I am going to have to go get a charger because my battery's running low. I'll be right back. I am really sorry about this, guys. I thought I had enough battery power, but I guess the juice just runs low. The mosquitoes are out here too. Oh. Okay, let's pick back up at chapter 5, verse 1. After I throw Zelig the ball, you know how important that ball is to him. Okay, chapter 5, verse 1. And Moshe called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the laws and right rulings which I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them and guard to do them. Yahweh, our Elohim, made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to declare to you the word of Yahweh, for you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up to the mountain, saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. You have no other mighty ones against my face. You do not make for yourselves a carved image, any likeness of which is in the heavens above, or which is on the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers upon the children to the third and the fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands to those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name of Yahweh, your Elohim, to naught, for Yahweh does not leave him unpunished who brings his name to naught. Guard the Sabbath day, to set it apart, as Yahweh your Elohim commanded you. 6 days you labor and shall do all your work, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahweh your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your sons, nor your daughters, nor your male servants, nor your female servant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, or any of the cattle, nor your sojourner who is within your gates, so that your male servant or your female servant may rest as you do. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahweh your Elohim brought you out from there by a strong hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to perform the Sabbath day. Respect your father and your mother, as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, so that your days are prolonged, and so that it is well with you on the soil which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder. You do not commit adultery, and you do not steal. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor do you desire your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. These words Yahweh spoke to all your assembly in the mountain from the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a loud voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. And it came to be, when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders, and said, See, Yahweh your Elohim has shown us his esteem and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. Today we have seen that Elohim speaks with man, and he lives. And now why should we die? For this great fire is consuming us. If we hear the voice of Yahweh, our Elohim, any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh who has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking from the midst of the fire as we have, and does live? You go near and hear all that Yahweh our Elohim says, and speak it to us, that Yahweh our Elohim says to you, and we shall hear and do it. And Yahweh heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me. And Yahweh said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of the people, which they have spoken to you. They have done well in all that they have spoken. Oh, that they had such a heart in them to fear me and to guard all my commands always, so that I might be well with them and with their children forever. Go and say to them, return to your tents. But you stand here by me, and let me speak to you all the commands and the laws and the right rulings which you are to teach them. And they shall do them in the land which I am giving them to possess. And you shall guard to do as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. Do not turn aside to the right or to the left. Walk in all the ways which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, so that you live and it be well with you, and you shall prolong your days in the land which you possess. And this is the command, the laws and right rulings which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded, to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you fear Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his laws and his commands which I command you, you and your son and your grandsons, all the days of your life, and that your days be prolonged. And you shall hear, O Israel, and you shall guard to do, that it might be well with you, and that you increase greatly, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you, in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as a frontlet between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahweh your Elohim brings you into the land of which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive groves which you did not plant. And you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard, lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. Fear Yahweh your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the people who are all around you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous El in your midst, lest the displeasures of Yahweh your Elohim burn against you. Then he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Yahweh your Elohim as you tried him in Massah. Diligently guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim and his witnesses and the laws which he has commanded you, and you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahweh, that it might be well with you. And you also go in and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to drive out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your sons ask you in time to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings which Yahweh our Elohim has commanded you? Then you shall say to your sons, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Mitzrayim, and Yahweh brought us out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. And Yahweh sent signs and wonders, great and grievous, upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of which he swore to our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these laws, to fear Yahweh our Elohim, for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all the commands before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us. When Yahweh your Elohim brings you into the land which you go to possess, he shall also clear away many nations before you, the Hittites and the Girgashites, and the Amorites and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites and the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahweh your Elohim gives them over to you, you shall strike them and put them under the ban completely. Make no covenant with them and show them no favor, and do not intermarry with them. You do not give your daughters to his sons, and you do not take his daughters for your sons. For he turns your sons away from following me to serve other mighty ones. Then the displeasure of Yahweh shall burn against you and promptly destroy you. But this is what you do to them: break down their slaughtered places and smash their pillars, cut down their asherim and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a set-apart people to Yahweh your Elohim. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples of the face of the land. Yahweh did not set his love on you, nor choose you because you were more numerous than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples. But because of Yahweh loving you, and because of him guarding the oath which he swore to your fathers, Yahweh has brought you out with a strong hand and ransomed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. And you shall know that Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, the trustworthy El, guarding covenant and loving commitment for 1,000 generations with those who love him and those who guard his commands, but repaying those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He does not delay to do so with him who hates him. He repays him to his face. And you shall guard the command and the laws and the right rulings, which I command you today to do them. Well, while you are turning to Isaiah chapter 40, I'm going to flip a light on. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, Isaiah chapter 40. Here we are, 40, verses 1 through 28. Comfort, comfort my people, says your Elohim. Speak to the heart of Yerushalayim and cry out to her that her hard service is completed, that her crookedness is pardoned, and she has received from the hand of Yahweh double for all her sins. The voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our Elohim. Let every valley be raised and every mountain and hill made low. And the steep ground shall become level and the rough places smooth. And the esteem of Yahweh shall be revealed, and all flesh together shall see it. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken. The voice said, cry out. And he said, what do I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its loving commitment is like the flower of the field. Grass shall wither, and flowers shall fade, when the Spirit of Yahweh has blown on it. Truly, the people is grass. Grass shall wither, the flowers shall fade, but the word of our Elohim stands forever. You who bring good news to Zion, get up into the high mountains. You who bring good news to Jerusalem, lift up your voice with strength. Lift it up. Be not afraid. Say to the cities of Yehuda, see your Elohim. See, the Master Yahweh comes with strength, and his arm rules for him. See, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. He feeds his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs with his arm and carries them in his bosom, gently leading those who are with young. Who has measured the water in the hollow of his hand, and measured the heavens with a span, and contained the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance? Who has meted out the Spirit of Yahweh, or as his counselor taught him? With whom did he take counsel, and who instructed him and taught him in the path of right rulings? Who taught him knowledge and showed him the way of understanding? See, nations are as a drop in the bucket and are reckoned as dust on the balance. See, he lifts up isles as fine dust. And Lebanon is not enough to burn, nor its beasts enough for an ascending offering. All nations before him are as a non-entity, and they are reckoned by him as less than a speck and emptiness. And to whom would you liken El? And what likeness would you compare to him? The workman molds a graven image, and the goldsmith overspreads it with gold, and the silversmith casts silver chains. He who is too poor for such an offering chooses a tree that does not rot. He seeks for himself a skilled craftsman to prepare a carved image that does not totter. Did you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been declared to you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and his inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretch out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. Who brings princes to naught shall make the rulers of the earth as emptiness. Hardly have they been planted, hardly have they been sown, hardly have their stalks taken root in the earth, when he shall blow on them and they wither, and a whirlwind take them away like stubble. And to whom then do you liken me? Or to whom am I compared? Says the set-apart one. Lift up your eyes on high and see who has created these. He is bringing out their hosts by number. He calls them all by name, by the greatness of ability and potent of power. A man is not lacking. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from Yahweh, and my rights are overlooked by my Elohim? Did you not know? Have you not heard? The everlasting Elohim, Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. I love Isaiah. Okay, we are going to turn now to 1 Peter chapter 1. It's page 1183. And we're going to read verses 18 through 25, which is the end of the chapter. knowing that you were redeemed from your futile behavior inherited from your fathers, not with what is corruptible, silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Messiah, as of a lamb unblemished and spotless, foreknown indeed before the foundation of the world, but manifested in these last times for your sakes, who through him believed in Elohim, who raised him from the dead and gave him esteem, so that your belief and expectation are in Elohim. Now that you have cleansed your lives in obeying the truth through the spirit of unframed brotherly love, love one another fervently with a clean heart, having been born again, not of corruptible seed, but incorruptible, through the living word of Elohim, which remains forever, because all flesh is as grass, and all the esteem of man as the flower of the grass. The grass withers, and its flowers fade away, but the word of Elohim remains forever. And this is the word announced as good news to you. Well, that is our portion this week. I hope you have enjoyed the reading this week, and I hope you'll join us again next week. And don't forget to go onto the website and watch the proverb of the day. There's a special section there that is all the proverbs, day 1 through day 31. Just go on in and grab the one for the day. And I hope you all have a blessed Shabbat. Rest in him, and remember to always walk with Father Yah. Shalom.